Hello! Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Monica, and I upload short films and videos about writing and filmmaking. If you're into that, you should subscribe, hit the bell notification, and leave me a comment. So you have an epic idea for a story, but you don't know what medium to use to tell it. Should it be a TV show? Should it be a feature-length film? Should it be a novel? I'm here today to share my process for how I figure out how I'm gonna tell a story. I was listening to an episode of Alex Ferrari's podcast, Bulletproof Screenplay. I don't remember what episode, and I'm really sorry, but he was interviewing a showrunner who gave some really great advice, and he said, before you even sit down and write anything, you need to figure out where you want to be. Do you want to work in TV or do you want to make films? Because sure, you can do both, but where do you want to start? Pick that and do that. In the olden days, if you wanted to show how talented a writer you were, you would write a sample episode of a popular TV show that was still on the air. But with the boom of streaming services like Netflix and Hulu and all these different TV shows, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to really do that anymore. You'd be better off just writing an original pilot of your idea. Of course, you can still write sample episodes if you want. That's your business. It's great practice. You can do whatever you want. However, these days, it is better if your idea is original, and more so if it's something that you can make on your own and then upload on the internet. But how do you know if your story will make for good episodes? In my opinion, the best TV shows feature a strong lead who either never achieves their goal or they start out as a weak character that gets built up into a bigger character over time. So an example of the first one, a character who never achieves their goal, of course, my favorite TV show of all time, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Buffy is the chosen one sent to fight the vampires, the demons, and the forces of darkness all by herself. And she never, ever, no matter how hard she tries, does she ever expel the earth of all of its evil. It just doesn't happen. It's a goal that she can't achieve. But I tuned in every Tuesday night in the late 90s because it was so compelling and I just needed to know what was going to happen next. Was she going to defeat every vampire, every demon, every force of darkness? Of course not. But that's what made the story so good. Just watching a character try and maybe they succeed a little bit and have little victories along the way, but overall, girl, you ain't getting rid of all the evil in the whole world. I mean, come on. Some bad examples of this. At the same time I was watching Buffy, I was also tuning into Felicity and Dawson's Creek. But the thing about Felicity is that she upended her whole entire future to follow Scott Speedman to New York because she had some high school crush on him. And then I tuned in week after week watching her pine over this dude. He was too busy dating the Pink Power Ranger to even notice that Felicity was like in love with him. And then once the two characters got together, finally, like that was the goal, I got bored. She achieved her goal. Why do I need to keep watching? The same thing happened with Dawson's Creek. So I watched Joey pine over Dawson, and week after week I would tune in like, are they finally going to get together? Will they, won't they? And for the record, I was always Team Pacey. But once Joey and Dawson finally got together, well, she achieved her goal. I could stop watching now. And the shows went on for a couple of seasons, but I had lost interest. I mean, the main character wanted something, and then they got it. Why do I need to keep watching? The show is over. So maybe think about your show. Like, is your character going to achieve their goal at the end of the season or a couple of episodes? Because if they do, then I don't know. I mean, I do like those twists where the character gets what they want and then they realize, oh crap, I didn't want this at all. I mean, that works really well in movies, but to each their own. Find your story. Tell your story. What about a weak character that becomes strong? Can we talk about Arya Stark from Game of Thrones? I mean, a little girl sword fighting with a wooden stick, and then she turns into this bad bee. I'm not done with season 8 yet, okay? No spoilers. Just, I finished season 7. I had some feels. Whatever. Walter White from Breaking Bad, he starts as this meek little chemistry teacher dying of cancer, and then he ends up becoming Heisenberg, the most feared and revered drug lord in all of Western civilization. I mean, that scene, I am the one who knocks. Wow. I think that was when Skylar realized who exactly the F she was married to. Besides Buffy, Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones have probably made me cry more times per episode than any other show I've ever watched. I mean, if there's other shows out there that are gonna make me cry, I mean, I did cry at The Walking Dead a couple of times, but I had to stop watching because it was hurting my feelings too much, and I'm a highly sensitive person. I can't be watching that kind of television that's just gonna destroy me emotionally. I'm just like a sponge when it comes to emotions. I just absorb everything, and I need time to breathe. What if you don't have time for all that? You know what I mean? TV shows have all these characters and plots and subplots and development and the world building and the blah and the season-long arcs, and you don't have time for that. You have 2 hours and you just want to make a movie. Okay, well, what kind of movie do you want to make? Is your story small with a couple of characters and locations? Or is it a blockbuster? Do you want to make the next Endgame? Or is it more art house? That's up to you to decide. I mean, it's your story, but these are the things I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about my story. It just depends on your taste. I mean, if you're aching for those long cinematic shots or those compelling scenes with Tarantino-esque dialogue, then you should probably make a feature film. Are you going to submit it to contests? Are you going to query? Or are you going to make it yourself? I mean, you could always make it yourself. Maybe you should do that. It might be super cool. It might be super cool and amazing. What if neither of those options are right for you? What if you're like, well, my story's not for TV and it's not really a movie. I'm thinking of something maybe longer and more descriptive, like a novel. Sometimes I want to just take my time and explore, and I like to do that with novel writing. So descriptions, lots of reading. If you can commit to writing 75,000 words or more, like if you think about your story and you're like, this is gonna take too long, I can't do this, maybe you could do it in multiple films or multiple seasons of a show. But I mean, realistically, are you gonna write multiple seasons of a show that isn't made? Novels are great. And the cool thing about writing a novel today is that because of the internet, there's so many things that you could do with it. You could publish it yourself on like Amazon, CreateSpace, or you could go with like a reputable self-publishing company, or you could even post it on websites like Wattpad or Swoon Reads. Those are really great places to display your work, and you can get comments and feedback, and it's really cool. In conclusion, I just hope this video inspires you to write. I personally have not been writing lately, and I've been trying to ease back into writing, and making videos like this helps me too, because it helps me think about, well, like, what kind of story do I want to tell and how do I want to tell it? And I might even try a couple different ways before I land on, okay, well, this story would be good as a novel, or maybe I might try writing it as feature-length film and go, oh, it would work better as a TV show. And it's fun to think about the different elements that you could put into your story and the different ways that you could tell it. But the important thing, the most important thing that I hope you take away from this video is that everyone is different and you can write whatever you want, however you want to write it. Trust your instincts. Whatever you choose is gonna be right for you. It's just important that you keep on writing and keep on creating. There's links to more resources in the description, so I hope you check them out. Thanks so much for watching. Have fun, keep writing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!